Hey friends, it's Mari. Thanks so much for stopping by. I have a project today for the Not Too Shabby Shop March release. This month over at Not Too Shabby Shop, there is an exclusive release of 4 amazing new stamp sets. One of them is called Summer Buddies, and this is it. It is absolutely the sweetest little stamp set with so many sweet little images and sentiments. I absolutely love it. These little critters are just ready for a swim and sandcastle building and drinking cold drinks and eating ice cream and all kinds of good stuff. So I decided I wanted to make a shutter card today, and I'm going to start off here by stamping out my little puppy image on some Nina Solar White cardstock in 80 pound with some Memento Tuxedo black ink. I'm just using my Misty here. I'm going to stamp my little puppy out here, and I'm going to be using an Avery L die that's this little frame. It's like a Polaroid frame, and I wanted to make sure that my little image was going to fit into that frame, so I'm just practicing there. And now I'm going to stamp that same little puppy out on some masking paper. This is Eclipse masking paper. It's kind of like Post-it paper, and it's just got a little bit of adhesive on the one side. I fussy cut that little puppy out, and I've now placed that mask over top of the puppy image. And now I'm taking the sandcastle stamp, and I'm going to stamp that over top of the puppy mask, and then so what that's going to do is make it look like the sandcastle is actually behind the puppy. I'm going to actually mask both of the castle and the puppy off now. I'm just going to show you how this looks. I'm going to mask those both off and do a little bit of ink blending. I'm going to ink blend in tumble glass and gathered twigs and just create a little bit of an impression of sky and sand around the puppy and the sandcastle. And the little frame is going to cover up most of this, but I just wanted there to be a little bit of color around them. So I'm going to just do a little bit of really, really basic ink blending with those 2 colors of Distress Oxide ink. Once I've got that done, I'm going to reveal the Copic marker coloring that I did off camera. And now I'm going to take a piece of blue cardstock and score it on each end, but at 2 1/8. And this is going to create a gatefold card base. So this is just some blue, like dark blue cardstock from my stash that matches the blue in that rainbow paper. Now that white paper that you see there is cut at 2 3/4 by 6 inches, and the pattern paper is cut at 3 by 6 inches. And then I've cut the yellow paper using the dies from My Favorite Things to create the part of that shutter mechanism out of the yellow cardstock. Now that white paper, I'm just taking now and I'm scoring it at an 1/8 of an inch on each edge. And that's going to, this rainbow pattern paper is going to fit in there. Actually, it's not scored at an 1/8 of an inch, it's scored at a 1/4 of an inch, sorry. Now I'm going to just fold over and score the shutter card mechanism for the inside of the card, and those are all ready to be adhered down to my gatefold card base. I'm just making sure that the images that I've colored for the inside of my card are going to fit into that shutter opening. Now I'm going to take a little bit of double-sided adhesive and adhere that to the flaps on a piece of the yellow cardstock there, and I'm just going to show you here how you go ahead and adhere those down to the gatefold card base. So what I'm going to do is open up the gatefold card base there, and I'm going to take off the release paper off of the strip that's on the left, and I'm going to just lay it flat so that that strip that has the score line in it is up against the score line of the gatefold card. So you can see there, I'm just going to put that straight edge of this piece, the yellow piece, up against the score line there of the blue piece, and then I'm going to fold the gatefold on the score line, on the fold line, and then you can see how that that mechanism is going to work. I do the exact same thing on the right side, lining everything up horizontally so everything is nice and straight in a line. And now you can see how that's going to create that shutter mechanism for the inside of our card. So I'm just showing you there how it opens and closes. And now what I want to do is take the image for the inside of my card and just get that adhered down to the blue card base. I'm just lining it up with my tweezers here, and then you'll just see me take my tape runner, and I'm going to go ahead and just stick that down to the inside of the card and get that all good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and start to work on the piece that overlays over top of that shutter mechanism. This white paper is going to have a circle cut out of the front of it. So I'm just marking with my pencil where that circle is going to be sort of centered over top of that shutter opening. So I'm going to take this and line it up and make sure that it is all good to go, and then run that through my die cutting machine. And then I'm just going to put some double-sided adhesive on those flaps and center this over top of my shutter mechanism and let that glue, just that double-sided adhesive, stick down to the inside of my gatefold card, and that's going to be done. Now I did stamp out some of those starfish on that white paper as well, and I just stamped out this "Stay Cool" sentiment on a piece of white cardstock and then punched it out with a circle punch, and then punched another circle out of yellow cardstock and got that all adhered onto that area. Now I'm going to put a sentiment down for my little frame. I decided to cut that frame for the front of my card out of white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on another piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to die cut that out in a little sentiment strip, and I'm going to use some My Favorite Things sentiment strip to get that all die cut out. And you can see here that it's kind of an interesting little die cut, because it's going to be kind of in 3 little pieces, where I'm going to pop the main piece up with the sentiment on it. The sentiment, by the way, says "Time for a Break." And I'm going to just pop that one up, and then I'm going to take the 2 little banner fishtail ends and stick them in behind that so that it looks really dimensional in that way. I like how this looks. I think it's really cool. I will link up in the description box below the products that I am using today. Some of them are older, so I'm not really sure if I'll still be able to find them, but I will try my best to do that. So I'm going to just take my tweezers and stick these 2 little fishtail banner ends in behind that sentiment, and that is going to finish up the frame. And now the frame is all ready to stick on over top of my little image. I'm going to stick that on there with my tape runner, and then I'm just going to take some scissors and cut around the edge of the frame, just underneath the edge of the frame a little bit, and then that's going to just frame up that very nicely. Now I wanted to finish the front of the card off with a few details. I'm taking a scallop border strip die from My Favorite Things, and I'm going to stick that on to the left flap of the front of the card, and that's going to actually lay over top of the right side so that it just finishes that flap off nicely. I'm going to get that stuck down. I'm going to trim that off, just picking up some of the excess glue that's on there. And I'm going to just get my scissors, my cutter bee scissors, and trim that off on the opposite side of the paper there, so I can see exactly where that needs to be trimmed. And that just adds just some really nice detail to the front. Now I'm taking a strip of white paper that's probably about 1.5 inches wide, and I'm just using the edges of the card to fold that over, and I'm going to make a belly band. I'm going to add a little bit of detail with that rainbow paper there. The pattern papers I'm using are from the Lawn Fawn Hello Sunshine Remix pattern paper pad. And I'm just going to go ahead and finish that off so that it's got that same rainbow paper as on the inside of the card. I'm going to glue my belly band together here, and that's going to be finished. Now I finished the front of my card with 2 strips of patterned paper, just 2 rectangles, stuck them down there. That's from the Hello Sunshine Remix pattern paper pad again from Lawn Fawn. It's got all of the same colors that the rainbow paper has, and it matches the base for my card. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of that yellow cardstock that's on the inside of the card to frame in this little frame around my little critter in the front, and just had a little pencil mark there that needed to be erased. And this is going to be all ready to stick onto the belly band for the front of the card. So I'm just going to put that belly band on the front of the card again here and stick the that little image on here, and that is going to finish this off. I love how this looks. It is so cute. This stamp set is absolutely adorable. Summer Buddies, you're going to absolutely love it. I am going to link to it in the description box below. There you can see how this all opens up and how it all works together. Now, I did want to just put a few more details, of course, as I always do on my cards, and I'm going to put a little bit of Nouveau shimmer on there. I'm going to put a little bit of Nouveau glaze in some areas to make, for example, to make the inner tube look really dimensional, make it kind of look like it's plastic. Add a little bit to the nose and to the cheeks. I'm going to take some red stickles and add some glitter to that little flag. I'm going to do basically the same kinds of things to the little kitty inside there. This kitty looks like she's been maybe out in the sun a little bit too long. It got a little bit dark, but I was kind of looking to create sort of like a tortoiseshell cat here. I'm not really sure if I achieved that, but my Nouveau shimmer pen again is going to help create some glitter and shimmer and shine there. And I'm going to also add some dimension to the inner tube there with some Nouveau glaze again, and adding a bit of gold stickles to the sand and some gold stickles to the starfish, and just really adding a pop of shimmer to the card overall. Everything's all dry now, and I'm just showing you how it opens and closes nicely. Please check out the links in the description box to the Not Too Shabby shop and to all of the different items in the release. There's a coupon code there. There's a bundle that you can pick up with all of these different stamp sets. They are so, so sweet. I'm just showing you I used a little bit of black gel pen to outline the spots that I gave my little kitty cat there. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I think it's really super cute. I love making interactive cards. I think they're so much fun. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.